Hello, everyone. Today, I want to talk about the 2026 roadmap for Harmony Protocol. This year, we have been great with the different aspects of our protocol development, applications, AI development that will continue strongly into 2026. We want to go deep on what we think DeFi will bring value to the users and the entire ecosystem, as well as think about what are the broader technological breakthrough innovations in the AI space that can apply in our lives. And I'll go through a few things that I've spent a lot of time doing research and prototyping that hopefully in 2026 would benefit a lot more users. But I also want to talk about how our protocol development has been very strong and bringing the network stability with many features, and also think about how the validator, how our token economics can make it far more efficient for our entire platform. Let's start with DeFi. We have been spending most of our time, most of the team, focusing on what will be the one product, single focus, that really the entire DeFi space has been innovating, but not be able to help many of the users to benefit from. That's the liquidity provider on the automated market making, something like the Uniswap Aerodrome that we have been studying for more than a year now. How to think about when the LP come in with the liquidity, how do they avoid the impermanent loss? How does that compare to professional market makers? And we have finally done not just the research of the financial and the economic aspect of the market, but also the technical analysis of all the data, all the product, many of the ecosystem, to understand what are the core of the problem and what are the value the user can expect if we solve this problem. We've been telling progress of the last 2 quarters that this is the most important of the team and myself doing research that can bring to the value of many, many more, not just as investors, but like how to sustain the growth of an ecosystem through the exchange, through the token value that would have the liquidity at the bottom, that will have the market maker at the different timing of the market that still be able to sustain the liquidity and the exchange rate without the impermanent loss. 2 of my teammates, Lee and Aaron, will give a deeper dive on both the product side and the economic side, and Aaron on the technical and the research side of how we understand the problem. But suffice to say, we want to tie it back together to know that there are multiple strategies to make it work. There are many of the Flash LP, as well as professional LP that makes great money on the different ecosystem already. And we have copied the LP strategy, we have understand how they do Flash LP, we have understand how much money they make, we have many of the data that we have studied and would like to share. But the product itself will speak how much of the annual return that we can expect as an LP, but also as something that as a vault, as a pool that maybe inherently have this feature enabled, would allow that the DeFi product to be the strong focus point for Harmony ecosystem. Now on the AI side, that's a much broader topic the entire world and society have evolved to adopt and use. And that's what I want to talk about today. The scaling for users among more users beyond just the chat interface is what I've been studying the last many months. What do we do now that we know the intelligence is very cheap at the whatever questions you have online? We know the models are getting stronger, more powerful with reasoning, with verification, that we understand it would not just be giving you some ideas and research and writing a paragraph or a page, but to be able to do reasoning, scientific research, as well as proving that this is the truth when you are doing any things that are critical for the accuracy. it really tied back to how I understand, even at the beginning of 2025, that verification, deductive reasoning, as well as logical framework, so that we can be grounding not just about the truth that you can search online, but each of the steps along the way, more than chain of thought. Chain of thought has been great for over minutes of research and over something like debate, something like a lawyer way of putting an argument forward. But to do the deductive approach of having the logical framework that you use to verify not just about your framework of reasoning, but every step along the way, is something going to be very important for financial applications, for medical uses, that we have done months of research into the area of fitness, healthcare, as well as just really enhancing the lifespan of way of understanding what we need to have AI be part of our life. We understand it's a broader use case that may not be just about finance or crypto or on-chain application, but how to type AI back to our day-to-day use, how to have the incentivized application that each of us will use, but may not be about the investment or money or token, but would be part of the incentive, social value when you use a product, is something that I think is a broader use case of crypto, rather than just a financial instrument, but be everything that we touch now, whether online or offline when we do exercise and fitness. The use case I'm thinking is definitely something very personal to myself, whether it will be part of my day-to-day fitness routine, sport routine, and how I interact with many of the medical information, fitness knowledge, but also of the broader idea that if we know that AI can do chat, and the breakthrough use case this year of AI is to do coding, to do programming, to have the cursor and windsurf-like IDE that actually no one thought it was possible even a year or two before. No one thought that this is the research that would not just about eliminating low-paying jobs, but the highest-paying jobs possible as a programmer, engineer, developer. Are there more of unicorn use cases like this that is not just about replicating something that's a $10 job or $100 per hour job, like a lawyer or a writer, but all the way to $1,000 per hour task? How many more coder and programmer, how many applications do you need now? Is something that really something that the last 2 months I spent a lot of time researching with many of the advisor collaborator. I truly believe that beyond just chat interface, generating a few images and videos, all the way to now coding with AI, is how many of us still need to organize both different tasks, data, and uses of AI to scale it to far more beyond just a few chat, a few conversations, and a few images. Can we think about using AI in a much broader way of putting hundreds of steps together, finishing some task, checking each of the results? Can we think about thousands, millions of rows of data that you need to be verifying, enriching, crawling, filtering, indexing, but also enriching different fields so that when you have just a first and last name, just a URL, you will get every information from not just crawling, but enriching with the data that you need, all the way to doing the intelligent task about whether replying a customers and doing a knowledge understanding of any of the data that you put on a spreadsheet. Spreadsheet is a good way to think about how the earliest software to be able to put not just 30, 40 years ago when the computer can do so limited, but be able to scale for useful tasks like accounting, like logistics, like tracking a balance, cash flow of anything. But Spreadsheet is the best way to think about. It's not about the interface of chat and videos and images, but spreadsheet as a way of human deal with tasks, deal with data that can scale to 1 million row, if not more. Everyone talk about agents now. Everyone talk about different model, context protocol. But our way of human using the AI at the end of the day is still a way, can we scale our task without limited input, without limited way of interaction to much, much more larger scale. The way to bring it back to Harmony is to really think about if we have an AI product that thousands, if not millions, people can use in 2026, what would they use it for? What would they find the value out of it? How do we tie it back to the economic aspect that blockchain ecosystem can offer? Hopefully you're excited about this roadmap. Hopefully you know that AI is not just going to take our job, but help us do far more, much more effective, much more valuable together. The last one is about our platform as the validator and our token value and how we occur the token economics over time. We have many more protocol upgrades as well as features that our team is still working hard in maintaining it, as well as making it the best ecosystem to be having the applications that now that there are many more like possible government and regulatory framework to support. One particular aspect I think over the years I've learned is what are the efficient use of our network. Now that we have fewer developers, now that we have fewer applications, what should be the token economics that will support the network over years, if not decades ahead? I do think that earliest on, we designed to be multiple shards as well as more than 100 of validators to be able to scale to really the biggest of any network that can think of. Now we have fewer applications and fewer developers. Can we scale down? This year, I strongly advocate the validators and many of the token holders to think about changing from 2 shards to 1 shard, changing from more than 100 validators to even tens, maybe just even 10, so that we can reduce the emission to validators, to applications, but back to a particular application, the DeFi, the pool. We know many of the decisions we made years ago allow us to scale up, but now we have to think about not just about scaling down, but how to put the resources to the most efficient use. In particular, 2 years ago when we changed it to having the emission split into some of the recovery for ecosystem growth, we have not think about what else we can use it if we don't have as much transaction fees and ecosystem growth. Can we put all the emission that the validator should get besides the basic security and the fees that they have? If we don't have 100 validators, if we only have 10, can we put it in just the rest of the emission from the token that the network produce every block and every period and epoch to a DeFi pool, Bitcoin versus 1 token? That's the exchange pool that we've been doing to, so that we are loss of liquidity in one of the pool, so that this product will be well used, so that we solve the impermanent loss for this pool using the research we have done this year. I do think that's the best path forward. To think about not just about validator, securing the network, promoting the network, helping people stake the tokens, but be able to make a big change that the validator will consider upgrade, token holders will consider voting for, that what will be some of the big change that we can make this year to make it a stronger network, a stronger product, a use product in the DeFi space that we all believe in forward. There's a lot to think about. The DeFi, we still have a long way to make it to be secure enough for everyone to use, put in money, put in the vault, make a product, prove that it is a stable return over time. The AI doesn't wait for us, doesn't wait for crypto. We have been using it. Can we design a product that tie all the elements together? Even though many of the engineers, many of the people in the team are already using so much of the features. We don't need as many developers. We don't need as much hand-drawn graphics. We are really using all the product ourselves. The key question is, are we part of the AI paradigm shift that we can build a product that you will also use as part of the Harmony? But the last one is a lot harder question for our entire community to think about. Each of us can just hold on to the design we have many years ago, token economics that validator agreed to over so much of their loyalty and the maintenance. But moving forward, I do believe 2026 is going to be great for us to think about these three big questions, and that's all the focus I'll be spending time with the team on. Thank you again, and looking forward to the great year